1989. The world looks ahead to a brighter future, but history could have easily taken a different course. 1985, Mikhail Gorbachev becomes the new General Secretary of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union. His attempts at revitalizing an ailing USSR bring him into direct conflict with hardline party members and the military. It doesn't take much to envision a Cold War turned decisively hot. 1987. A surprise coup removes Gorbachev and his allies, squashing any prospect of change in the USSR. An old guard troika, representing the party, KGB, and military, takes over. The Stalinist-inspired leadership wants to reclaim USSR's former glory. Its power is militarily enforced, its dictate absolute. Budding unrest in Armenia and the Baltic countries is crushed without remorse. The West remains silent. Emboldened, the Troika looks to tighten control over its territories and neighboring states. Neutral Finland, in an audacious KGB-orchestrated political takeover, is forced to embrace a pro-Soviet government. The Helsinki coup of 1987 is a watershed moment between West and East. Tensions skyrocket. An outraged U.S. President Ronald Reagan refuses to stand by idle. He initiates a second phase of the so-called New Cold War. Covert ops and counterinsurgencies surge across the globe. A flurry of armament deals tighten bonds with new and old allies alike. Western sanctions and rising military expenditure press the Soviet Union into ever-worsening trade agreements, inflating crippling debts. With oil reserves running low, food shortages in the USSR turn commonplace. Discontent grows. Popular demonstrations in Poland and East Germany are violently dispersed. Warsaw Pact's hold on power slips with each passing day. 1989. NATO plans a larger-than-ever reforger exercise for September 1989. A paranoid troika believes conflict in Western Europe is imminent. They plan to strike first. Moscow sees conventional war as the only recourse. Under cover of the massive Zapad 89 exercise in East Germany, the Warsaw Pact prepares in secret. Full combat readiness is achieved. Political guile and maskirovka try to deceive an uneasy NATO. Late on June 19, 1989, the sudden withdrawal of Warsaw Pact border guards puts NATO on high alert. The warning order is issued. 26, 1989. War engulfs Europe. A week has passed since the Warsaw Pact's breakthrough at Fulda, with the Soviets and East Germans finally at the gates of Frankfurt. NATO's screening units have delayed the invasion significantly, buying enough time for fresh reinforcements to deploy. The Warsaw Pact is on the cusp of achieving its operational goals, but most of its frontline troops are spent. Few reserves remain for this critical last push. Meanwhile, NATO is marshaling its forces for a counterattack, but remains undecided on when and where to strike best.
The early sacrifices made by the 11th, the moment
The Bundeswehr's 5th. In the center, the U.S. 8th. We have multiple units. Sir, the U.S. We can order them to the Würzburg sector. Or they can be commanded to deploy in Miltenberg. General, where do you want to deploy the U.S. 1st Armored Division? Understood, sir. We will relay your chosen location.
June 23, 1989, 72 hours into World War III. As the Warsaw Pact's strategic offensive into West Germany continues, initial communist attacks in NORTHAG fix local NATO forces in place. This changes after the devastating left hook attack by the Soviet 1st Guards Army against the 1st Belgian Corps. NATO rushes key reserves to the threatened southern sector, signaling a dramatic increase of Warsaw Pact operations along NORTHAG's front. Two main axes of advance are unleashed: Lüneburg-Bremen in the north, Hanover-Osnabrück in the south. With major NATO formations in Centag believing Fulda to be the main target, instead the Soviets direct the powerful 3rd Combined Army against NORTHAG. However, the Bundeswehr's 1st Panzerdivision inflicts heavy damage on the vanguard made up of the Soviet 47th Guards Tank Division, allowing 1st British Corps to regroup in front of Hanover and bring up heavy armored reinforcements. The British see a chance to launch a spoiling counterattack and regain the initiative before fresh Polish armored forces bring a new impetus to the Warsaw Pact's offensive towards Hanover.
General, we have an opportunity to strike back. The enemy thrust in front of Hanover has been the window of opportunity.
Right. General, the terrain between Braunschweig and...
June 23, 1989, 72 hours into World War III. As the Warsaw Pact's strategic offensive into West Germany continues, initial communist attacks in NORTHAG fix local NATO forces in place. This changes after the devastating left hook attack by the Soviet 1st Guards Army against the 1st Belgian Corps. NATO rushes key reserves to the threatened southern sector, signaling a dramatic increase of Warsaw Pact operations along NORTHAG's front. Two main axes of advance are unleashed: Lüneburg-Bremen in the north, Hanover-Osnabrück in the south. With major NATO formations in Centag believing Fulda to be the main target, instead the Soviets direct the powerful 3rd Combined Army against NORTHAG. However, the Bundeswehr's 1st Panzerdivision inflicts heavy damage on the vanguard made up of the Soviet 47th Guards Tank Division, allowing 1st British Corps to regroup in front of Hanover and bring up heavy armored reinforcements. The British see a chance to launch a spoiling counterattack and regain the initiative before fresh Polish armored forces bring a new impetus to the Warsaw Pact's offensive towards Hanover.
General, we have an opportunity to strike back. The window of
Right. The terrain.
I'm in charge. I am listening, Captain. Enemy spotted. At your orders. Enemy spotted. Louder. Enemy spotted.
The enemy depots at Kasseberg are ours, but the Poles are on the verge of launching a counterattack to take them back. Defend Charlie sector at all costs. Enemy forces are still lodged between us and our West German units.
Clearing Bravo and capturing the sector will allow our allies to join in battle. The enemy has infiltrated behind the Belgian commandos located at Delta, cutting our communication lines. They have entrenched with light AA and AT units. The situation on the ground is confusing, but we just got word that contact with the Paras at Alpha has been lost. We must re-establish a link as soon as possible. The main counterattack is imminent and will likely fall on Alpha. Be sure to clear the area around Delta. Make every effort to contact the West German units for additional reinforcements. Best of luck, Commander. Checklist completed. Ready to go. The first enemy attack wave is about to fall on Alpha. The vanguard is made up of Polish reservists. Make sure the communication lines with the Paras are secure.